So Mitchell and Doherty on the front row, and then so there's 4 cars. Then there's going to be a gap. Then there's the next 3. Then there's a gap. Then the next 3, and then the final 3 include Holding, Lewis Williams, and Campbell, the winner of our race earlier today, off the very back of the grid. And there'll be a delay between each group of cars going off the start line. And at the end, the objective is that they all get themselves together by the time the race concludes after 9 laps.
Hasn't the number 97, Rob Holding, done such a good job? New to the game in 944 racing, and he's shot straight to the top of the timesheets and results this weekend. And he's running off the back with 2 of the winningest guys in the history of this class, as we see the field set. Mitchell, Doherty, Manazelma and Mariner, Keith Mariner there as well. Bit of battle damage on the front of a couple of these cars as well. Some good use of race tape. They jump away, and we'll see the second group, but it is going to be Doherty. No, in fact, it's Mitchell that gets down into turn 1. Keith Mariner running wide, all of his own there, but Manny Manazelma, and that beautiful 944. So that's 17 seconds away. The second group get off. So that's a big gap back to them. And wow, we've still got another 2 groups to get going as we see the second but last group get going, and now, they're getting willing for it already.
The important thing for these groups that are being let loose now is that they must go hard early. They can't afford to be scrapping within themselves. They need to go as fast as they possibly can and not slow each other up, because Campbell and Chris Lewis-Williams and Holding at the back of the field, they're away now heading into turn 2. The leaders are going through turn 7 and 8 around the Gumtree in the middle of the circuit. So that's the distance. It's about 1.9 to 2 Ks of lap.
39 seconds it was.
That's a big
long way back. And let's see how good they are. That's kind of what a handicap race is. Let's see how good you are, guys.
It's exactly what a handicap race is, so which is fantastic. So the winners of our early races are away. They're going into turn 5. This is the shot of the cars that were released in the first group of cars, and it's Doherty who's leading the race from Mitchell next as they run into turn 11. So this isn't going to play out for 15 minutes. We need to wait. This is going to last the whole way for these guys. That's Lewis Williams in front of Bella, and I think Campbell will probably want to get rid of Chris pretty quickly, because I think he believes he's considerably faster. He'll want to pass quickly, go through, and then try and close them down and pick them off one at a time.
It's easy as putting his hand out and pointing at the number on the side and saying, I've got the 1. What are you? 37 back. Something like that. Although this is a good return for Chris Lewis-Williams, and let's hope that he can start to rejoin the State Series on a more regular basis. So Campbell, clearly last year's champion, and Chris Lewis-Williams has got 2 of these titles, I believe, to his name. But let's see how this one fights out. That's down the back of the field at the moment. This is midfield. There goes Richard Howe, the wily veteran. Michael Westaway in front, and Mark Talbot's behind. He's put this all together for the 944s, Mark. He's done a terrific job. And at the start of this weekend, the cars presented themselves beautifully, but with that nose-to-tail type, sort of one-make type racing, we do see a little bit of race tape being employed on some front bumpers and some little scars on the side of cars there, as we see Richard Howe. And Jamie Westaway alluded yesterday that Dickie Howe never leaves a race meeting without scars on the side of his car.
So the standing lap time for Doherty, who's leading the race, was 1:45.06. So Chris Lewis-Williams was 2 minutes 20.2. So that's the difference from the first group of cars to the last.
So the first group of cars now heading up to turn 11. And at the moment, Lewis Williams and Bella are just down at the Gumtree and the cleavage at the top of the track.
In fact, the gap probably more worth watching is the gap to lead column we've got in our timing column, and head to thenationals.com.au. There's a live timing page you can click on and see the live timing from these races, as well as Bella continues to find a way past Chris Lewis-Williams. Now, while this is happening, they're slowing themselves up, weaving left to right, trying to get through. I think Chris would be better served letting him go and following Cam through
the traffic.
Yeah, exactly.
Be
right.
the first one to arrive on them, that's for sure.
So to finish my point, we want the gap to the lead column, 32 seconds. Cars that we would expect to win the race behind the cars that are actually leading it in this handicap situation. We'll monitor that margin and we'll see if it comes down and how quickly it does.
Keith Mariner, the PAS car, is chasing down Manny Manazelma, experienced racer, does other Porsche racing as well, real estate agent, and just watching the 45 there of Michael Westaway. Just been putting a foot off the edge of the track there. That was, actually no it wasn't, it was James Mitchell in second place, this car here. in the Martini Racing livery there. And that could have been pretty ugly. It's not a point of the racetrack that you want to put a leg out in the dirt, that's for sure.
So 2 seconds the margin for Doherty. So he's achieved what we talked about on the opening lap in getting the head down and driving away as hard as he can go early on. But even though his best lap of the race so far is 4 seconds slower than Lewis Williams, so it's charging down the gap, 30 seconds between the leader and the fastest group of cars that were released last. So the margin really on dodgy Crail arithmetic, it's about 4.5 seconds a lap faster they need to be. These cars need to be to get to Doherty, who's leading the race.
At the moment, this is a bit of Lewis Hamilton, Seb Vettel type stuff, isn't it? It's a world championship for the handicap race in the 944s at the penultimate round of the Shannons Nationals. There's our Morris Finance leaderboard. Peter Doherty proudly on top of that with James Mitchell, Manny Menazelma and Keith Mariner on the Morris Finance leaderboard. I bet they've been up to the Morris Finance Drivers Lounge too. Porsche racers like a bit of Drivers Lounge. And here is Carl Lewis Williams and the number 1 of Cambella.
Porsche commentators like a driver's lounge as well. I'll give you the hot tip. And Lewis Williams defending on the run into turn 1. Does Bella go here? Oh, he does. He goes late. He looked down the inside. While they're doing this, they're slowing themselves up and actually holding now in 97 behind us, the fastest guy on the racetrack. So they're not going at the ultimate pace they could to be blazing their way through this field. 26 seconds.
I can't believe there wasn't some sort of gentleman's agreement between the two of them. We raced to turn 1, then we line up behind each other and help each other through.
Well, they did race to turn 1 and Lewis Williams won the race into turn 1.
But they haven't given up,
So that was probably the gentleman's agreement, but it hasn't worked out.
They're not working together.
So they're going faster to the tune of 4 seconds a lap, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. They might get close, but keep in mind, they actually have to pass cars while they're working their way through the field. Now Bella has a look. He got a really good run through turn 5 and 6. Now the switch back, this great change of direction. This is where these cars will be so unbelievably good to drive. 50-50 weight distribution, perfect balance. Around they go. It was interesting to pick up some little quirks of these cars. They love a left-hand drive race car better than the right. They're better balanced in the way that they did the conversion for right-hand drive markets around the world. So just to get the corner weights absolutely perfect, you go the left-hand drive option, or you have to change just a little bit more to get a right-hand drive car perfectly balanced.
Lucky, because there was a lot more for the North American market made than there were for anyone else. So the left-hand drive cars were in greater abundance. I guess they're starting to dwindle in numbers a little bit now. Bella almost into the back of Lewis Williams, runs wide, puts it off the back of that entry to the straight that will kill any run he has down to try and get the passing manoeuvre in the braking area in turn 1. Really hurt his straight line speed that time with Bella, and they're starting now to range up onto the back of Kenny James. Tony Westaway just ahead of him, driving Jamie's car here this weekend, who won 2 races in the Victorian State Circuit Racing Championship and earlier on this year.
Gave his old man a clip around the ears in commentary yesterday as well, so hopefully it doesn't get back to him. Just spoke to Maria Ritter before, and apparently he was given a few little challenges to sleep into his commentary, which he succeeded. Holding again sets the fastest lap of the race, 35.2. He's last on the road at the moment. The gap 21 now between the leader and that group. So it's come down 2 seconds in 2 laps. Well, there's promise in this. There's promise that it's building towards a really interesting finish. But
Mark Torbitz now is really pressuring Richard Howe. This could end in tears. Richard Howe's not one that responds to pressure that much. He certainly does. You can see the scars right underneath the number there for Richard Howe. He's a battler, this guy. He draws a battle to him, is what Jamie Westaway said yesterday. Rarely does he leave the racetrack without some sort of scars on it.
It's interesting how the groups of cars have basically remained as they were when they were released as well. So full credit to the handicappers up in race control, who have done a nice job in grouping these cars and working out the handicap situation. So
in fact, it was rubber stamped right to the top of the tower. It was the race secretary that said, yes, I'll sign off on that.
Daryl McHugh was heavily involved. Chris did actually tell me that before the race. He said it's no pressure, but he has to get it right. He's the one that signs off. Cambella sets the fastest lap of the race, first in the 34s, and now he's got with Chris Lewis Williams to the back of these cars. So now they start overtaking. They're 17 seconds behind the leaders. Cannot find their way. It's Peter James now in 10th place. It's the first one they need to pass.
He's doing a good job there too, Peter James. These guys arrived on the back of him almost a lap ago. They really need to start dispensing with him. But at the moment, off the track there, that's Dick Howe in the number 8. He goes backwards. He saw the leaders coming through and went, right, I'm just going to throw it off in the dirt here and let them all go through.
Here they go.
There they go.
And now they're going line astern. So every move that Lewis Williams makes, you can bet that Campbell will just immediately commit and follow him through and utilise the hole that Lewis Williams has made in carving his way through the field. So they're now up into 8th and 9th positions respectively. 3 laps to go next time by. Doherty the leader by 1.7 seconds and looking good, punching out consistent lap times, pulling away from Mitchell gradually.
So Doherty and Mitchell started on the front row together, remain together, so that battle will continue until the field allegedly condenses up on them.
I really hope it does. I hope we have an absolute thriller on the final
We've
lap.
only got 4 laps to go, or 3 laps to go now, in fact, so it's still condensing as we speak. They're all at least on this end of the racetrack now.
14 seconds off the lead, 13 now. So, I don't know, it's going to be marginal. They might get to 2nd and 3rd, Lewis Williams and Bella, but I don't know if they're going to get 1st place. Mainly because they're still scrapping amongst themselves. And this is the fight. Lewis Williams defends, Campbell tries to go the long way round. Good racecraft, no contact, just good hard motor racing. Their next target will be Westaway in the 28 car. In fact, the Westaway boys are running line astern in 7th and 8th on the road at the moment.
Gee, imagine if Jamie was in it. It could be one of these fast cars coming from the back of the field.
So there they are.
I'll catch up with Jamie later. He can hand over some cash for these comments too.
Check this out. This is the Westaway boys getting gobbled up by the 2 leaders. So there's one down, and that was Michael Westaway. So his brother's got in front, so that's a bit of the handicapping working as well. So now Tony in 28 has to defend from Chris Lewis Williams and Campbell. They're 13 seconds off the lead. It continues to come down. Off the road goes Peter James, so he's already been passed by this group of cars. And another corner they don't get past. Every corner counts. It's
Tony
just
Westaway.
delaying them.
Yeah, Tony Westaway just making it a little bit difficult for them, but they're going to go through.
Which he's got every
11.
right to do.
Absolutely.
We should
He's the
emphasise
leader
that.
in this battle at the moment.
Yeah.
These guys are just coming through on them. And it's actually, in fact, they've been relatively well behaved as far as traffic coming through there. They've put up their defence and they've actually held on to their line and they've had to get around them. So now these two coming from the back. There's the number 45 retiring from the race. That's Michael Westaway.
Well, that's why he was going so slowly, leaping around.
So where are they? They're actually 7th and 8th, Lewis Williams and Campbell now. So I guess the next thing is that Campbell doesn't want to finish behind Lewis Williams. Forget the job in front. Get these personal battles settled and done and dusted as well. So Doherty leading James Mitchell, Manny Menezalma, Mark Torbert's done a great job with getting the category on here this weekend. Keith Mariner, Paul Cresciotti. Then it's Mariner's gone back a spot. In fact, he's falling into the clutches now of Lewis Williams as well. There's this battle with Manny Menezalma right there in the middle. Beautiful paint job on that car.
And Doherty's loving this out in front. He's still punching out his PB laps of the race.
It's cool, isn't it?
10
Responding
seconds.
to that front row position.
10 seconds, but running out of lap time. Oh, contact. That'll be a couple of easy positions for our drivers charging around. The 10 car was turned around. He was 3rd on the road. There was contact. And at turn 9.
Mark Torbert's got into the number 10 and pointing the wrong direction. So he will now see those faster cars coming from the back. There they are now. Chris Lewis Williams and Bella.
They're going to run
Bella number 1.
They're going to run out of laps, Daz,
will.
unfortunately. For us, not so much if you're Pete Doherty, who's leading the race. Not the singer, by the way. He's just about to start his final lap. Oh, round. Who's that spinning in a
64?
That Bella goes through, and it's broken Chris Lewis Williams. He's just clipped him, trying to take evasive action, and it's broken his steering. So he'll get out of the way, and the race can continue.
Keith Mariner facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
So Lewis Williams, demise. Campbell continues on. Now, can Campbell in one lap
Make up 9.9 seconds? No. That's the obvious answer.
Gee, what if he does? In unison, we gave him a big no.
As Torbett goes through, he'll set the fastest lap on this race, though, you'd wager. He might get 1 or 2 more as these guys continue to scrap. Really like Mark Torbert's car. A jet black livery, looks sleek. He's just got himself to 2nd place. Now, he may be a contender to chase down Doherty because he's a couple of seconds a lap quicker than him. Bella's absolutely flying and has just set the fastest first sector to the tune of 2.5 seconds of the motor race. So he really needed another lap, or he needed to get rid of CLW earlier on. Unfortunately, it's not quite going to be close enough.
And in the end, it wasn't Campbell that got rid of CLW. He got himself into a spinner that was propped in front of him. Here's our race leader, car number 53, Doherty. Pretty proud of his work in this race. Started off the front row, got into turn 1 nicely, consolidated his lead, and he's driving very, very nicely indeed, setting his personal best. You can't ask much more than that from a race driver.
Well, he's going to win the race, so he did exactly what he needed to do, Pete Doherty. Started from second, he got the best start, and then he put head down, drove away from the field, and the Handicap Porsche 944 Challenge race, the Dennis O'Keefe Cup, goes the way of Peter Doherty. Well done. Good victory. Talbot's home in second. Where does Campbell get to? So he was 5th, punched out the fastest lap of the race in the final lap and got to within 5 seconds. So remember, at the end of lap 1, they were 35 seconds behind the lead. He finished 5 seconds behind, and had he not had that hesitation when Chris Lewis-Williams was turned around, I'd wager it would have been a whole heap closer.
That's the prettiest race-winning 944 I've ever seen. There's not
unmarked.
a mark on it.
Yeah.
Absolutely dominated from out in front in the handicap race. A big g'day to Dennis O'Keefe. He's here to present the trophy. He was the founder of this class here in Australia. Of course, running a Porsche part. It's helped him to sell a lot of 944 parts over the years, but certainly a great bloke in Victorian motorsport, locally revered. People like him. He's a good fella, and this category still going 20 years on is testament to his vision of bringing this category to the Victorian State Circuit Racing Championships. Yeah,
terrific cars. Really enjoyed their racing, being part of the Shannons Nationals this weekend. 2 cracking races today. And well done, Pete Doherty. He'll be singing about that one. The margin, 2.1 seconds. Mark Talbot's home in second place. And there's the result. So Cameron Bella was the story, wasn't he? 5 seconds off the lead in the end, and 5th place after that great win. And he did a lap record in the race earlier today. Tony Westaway got home in 6th place. Peter James, we saw spinning at the end there, rounded out the top 10. DNFs for Michael Westaway, and unfortunately Chris Lewis-Williams after a really impressive drive and defensive effort indeed, holding out Cameron Bella, ultimately failed to finish that race. So the 944's run and done here at the Shannons Nationals. That's the second page of results. Check out some highlights of this.